Call the meeting to order of the Animal Services Tuesday, September 17th, 7:30. A physical quorum of the members is physically present. I'll entertain a motion to permit member Rutledge, who's not physically here, due to a personal illness or disability, employment purposes, or for the business of the board or family or other emergency, to participate by video or teleconference. And a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Hello, member Rutledge.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm just not feeling it this morning. Thanks for letting me in.
Anybody sign in for public comment?
No public comment.
No public comment. Just real quick on the chairman's report, we'll have a discussion under 9A later on here regarding our new event space, multi-purpose room. Move on, motion to approve our minutes of Tuesday, August 20th. Second. Any questions, comments, additions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And our one finance resolution, get a motion for additional appropriation for animal service fund for $4.5 million. Second on that?
Second.
Okay, any questions, comments?
Didn't we just approve this like 2 weeks ago?
Okay, board, we approved the loan.
Right.
And I
So
assume this is
now
moving it
This is
to,
moving it to the different
Now
account.
to-
Oh, gotcha.
they
Yeah.
approved it coming out. Now this is
Multi-step process.
going in.
Gotcha.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Administrative update, Laura.
Yeah, so I'm happy to report that we've now had a couple weeks under 200 animals. So
Yay.
that's a positive thing. We always hope.
You're
it's-
welcome.
Yes, thank you. Yes. We could use some more adoptions. We are really looking for, we had a very successful Clear the Shelters event. We adopted out 40 animals in one day, which was great. Our next big event is going to be September 28th. The Chicagoland Humane Coalition is putting on Super Adoption Saturday. We have over 22 rescue and shelter organizations that are participating at Lake County Fairgrounds. The goal of adopting out as many animals as we can. We have representation from Wisconsin, Indiana, and the Chicagoland area. So we are going there with the hope that we don't have to come back with any animals, that we can make great matches. We'll have rabbits, guinea pigs, adult cats, kittens. I'm not sure that we'll be bringing dogs up. It's a really long transport, and our population tends to be a little bit harder to place sometimes. We don't have like a lot of little puppies and little dogs to bring up there. So
The goal 500 for that event?
the goal is 500 animals, yes. Yeah, to get adopted that day. So more information will be shared on social media. So if you want to share that within your networks, we'd appreciate that. I wanted to also give you an update on construction. So we've talked previously about this power gear that has to come that helps power our building, and that has been delayed a little bit. So we were hopeful to move into the new addition in October, but it might be closer to beginning of November now, which will then push final project closer to February. I have really great news. We're currently working on, Trevor, our ASA, working on a contract with Elmer Vet Hospital to do some off-site boarding for our dogs, so that when we do have to move out of our current space, we have a really great place for them to go. Dr. Ludwig is being very generous with the rates, and is also donating a substantial amount of equipment to the project, which she's not using anymore. So we really appreciate
How long
her.
do they have to be there?
It could be 2 months. Yeah, I think it depends on, as we assess what the noise level is too, because doing construction with a building next to us is one thing, but doing construction immediately next to all those dog kennels, just don't know how stressful that's going to be. We are doing a little bit of a refresh of the dog kennels, but substantial renovation of our existing building isn't in that space. So we needed to have a backup plan in case it's going to be too hard for the animals to be in the building. And then we were just talking about some of the great animals that got adopted recently. And I want to thank our donor base and DuPage Animal Friends for everything they've been doing to not only support the capital project, but we have some animals that have come through with some severe medical conditions. And just want to remind you guys that they're just so critical to making sure that we don't have to question, can we send this dog for an echocardiogram? Can we send this animal to get x-rays? And it's so nice to have that to fall back on when we're try to be responsible stewards of our council. So that is it for my update this morning.
Great, thanks, Laura. Any old business? Moving on to new business discussion, Connor's here and he's done a number of researching with the new multi-purpose room. I think we discussed it last month. Everybody, at least at the committee levels, in favor of allowing us to be able to rent that out to corporations, other rescues, et cetera. But in doing that, there's going to be a number of things if the full board decides to allow that. Things like, can you bring catered food in there? There may be an issue. Connor's going to be looking into it. He could probably discuss it more
Alcohol.
on contract we have with 421, with food service, et cetera. And then making sure there's a appropriate license that Winfield has. If they don't, we'd have to make sure Winfield gets it, allowing alcohol to be brought on. Risk management would, put the insurance requirements out there. And the state's attorneys would make sure legally we'd have some kind of contract that would indemnify us if something happens, et cetera. So I'll let Connor discuss a little bit of that right now, and then get the thoughts of the committee, and we'll need to start moving forward and seeing if the full board is, on board with that.
And Connor, could I just say that instead of reinventing the wheel, you might want to talk to the DuPage Historical Museum, because they've had the same questions about their meeting space upstairs and bringing people in for conferences and things like that. And I know we've discussed alcohol and bringing in food, and they're a little bit different because they have Arrowhead over there.
Yes.
So they can cater from Arrowhead and they can get alcohol and whatever it is, licensed people to serve the alcohol. But anyway, if you want to get some background for somebody who's already doing this, you might want to contact them.
The big thing is, and I'll kind of go into I'll try and start at the biggest decisions and then work our way to smaller ones. The first decision is obviously going to be, do you want to rent the space or not out? If you do, you're going to need to make an ordinance that establishes a fee schedule, all that sort of thing. Second is regarding food service. If you're going to do food service, there's no issue with you with outside caterers coming in. I looked through the agreement. All we have is like a food provisioning agreement. We use all of our own people to do the cooking and everything else. I don't know that you're necessarily going to be able to reach an accommodation or the logistics of having basically the county's cooks and servers for occasional use of a multi-purpose room. That might not be something that that's feasible. It might just be a better idea to bring in outside caterers. If you are going to do outside caterers, you're going to need, as Brian pointed out, some sort of insurance risk management provision, some sort of minimum insurance requirement. As far as alcohol goes, I want to make sure I need to take a little bit closer look at the fine measurement because of where the property is located, because a chunk of over there is located in Winfield and a chunk is located in Wheaton. Either way, you're going to need them to amend their liquor ordinance if you want to serve liquor. I spent some time last night going through Wheaton's ordinance just to refresh myself. They really don't have anything that fits into what our use would be. Winfield's closer, but there still would need to be some clarification language. Either way, it's probably better just to create our own separate individual use in their liquor code, but that requires obviously participation of another municipal entity. As far as I'm sure there's a few other things I can probably think of as well, but those are the really big questions. Do you want to serve liquor? Do you want, how do you want to serve food if you're going to do food? And then following up with, well, how much insurance do we need to get? How do we want to structure this? And finally, what we're going to get for the room. There's a host of smaller questions that come up, but those are really the big policy decisions and directions. And once we go from there, we can kind of figure out what needs to be done.
Okay, well, with that, I think, oh, okay,
Good question.
yeah.
So I would suggest that you contact the Illinois State Liquor Control Commission because they're very helpful there. I served as a commissioner there for 7 years, and we would have to get a daily use license and pay that to the state for use of liquor. So we just have to make sure that the event is if it's a fundraiser, that we have to take into account all the costs associated with that. But I think they would offer you some good advice, Connor, about how to go about seeing if we can get liquor there. Like, I don't know if they'd say go directly to Wheaton and Winfield. I don't know if there's some special use permit that they can issue through the state with approval from the municipalities. I would just recommend that you contact them.
And part of this is if you guys want to open a bar and grill over there, basically.
Not yet.
Then they,
Oh, we're going up on the rooftop. We're gonna,
oh, even
Later.
even better.
Later.
That's gonna be a different type of use than just a catering space.
Right.
And if we're just doing a catering space, we have somebody else who's got a liquor license, a catering liquor license that's bringing it in. We may not need that state licensure, because we just be, for lack of a better term, a hall.
Okay.
Now, if we're gonna have a bar there, like a full-time bar, a stock bar, whatever, or we're running it by county employees, and that's a different kettle of fish. So, and that would also require a host of different, insurances and coverages,
But that's not-
liability.
Yeah.
That's kind of what,
yeah, so first of all, just figure out what town it's in, if it's Winfield or
I'm about 85% sure it's
yeah,
Wheaton. but-
just, it's like the Costco out there where the parking lot's in Woodridge, but the sales are in Bolingbrook. So
Exactly.
it's
I
just-
think Connor said the first
Yeah.
thing we need to do is
Well-
figure out if we even want to do this. And I vote yes, because I think it'd be a great advertisement for the facility and for the animals. It would help people remember, oh, yeah, they're here, you know?
Alright.
So I think it's a great idea.
So we'll figure out, Nick, what we gotta do, just get the full board to say we need to do that, whatever policy needs to be put in place to allow that. For liquor, figure out what town it's in. Most of the towns have special use I mean, I think when I was in Downers, we allowed 12 a year. They may have to tweak their license or their license for it, and those special events, you have to get the state approval too, but just figure out what town it's in. And then, you can work on what you think the fee schedule should be.
Yeah,
And
if
work with
there's some
Trevor to-
significant costs for our department for this too, it's helpful to understand that.
Yeah,
We've
just-
been looking at what other municipal
I could-
hall rentals.
Trevor to start writing up the ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing is we'll get our full board to say it's okay and alcohol's okay. I think that's all we need. And then
Yes.
we can get all the details. Risk management can figure out the amount of insurance that's required, the certificate will be needed. Is it, 2 million dram shop, liquor, whatever.
This is probably a dumb question, Connor, but is there a difference between liquor? Like if you just wanted to serve beer and wine at fancy events versus hard liquor, is there a difference?
Yeah, most
Liquor license.
municipalities have different licenses.
Oh,
Some are only for
okay.
beer and wine, and
Right.
some are all liquor.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
Um,
I mean, I think we should just go with beer and wine, don't you?
So when I use the term liquor, I mean generically, so all
No, I
alcoholic
know, I
beverages.
know, that's why I wanted to clarify.
And usually the caterer has all the insurance and you just let the caterer bring in the alcohol versus the organization.
And if there's a difference between, like a hall rental versus we offer a program where a child can come with other kids for a birthday party,
yeah.
can we just have a cake? Like, is that outside of what we're talking about?
That's all up to the caterer or how you want to do that.
But, or what we want to say, if you don't
If
cater
it's-
the event, you can say you can bring it in or not bring it in.
Yeah,
We have that
okay.
flexibility.
Yeah.
And corporate events too, that during the day, they may want to do corporate retreats.
yeah, obviously, I'm very much in favor of having, the ability to have events here. I think it's a great idea. Not the full bar or grill. I don't think that's something that you want to do.
No, of course not.
So I don't know if that's what you're looking for, is consensus from here from the board in terms of that's, we're okay with having that, and the ability to serve liquor at the event.
Yeah, I think we need the full board to approve that, but then we'll start getting the details. This place is gonna be open in, September, October. We'd like to have it, especially around the holidays.
Yes.
People
I
can do
think
their
People are
that's
rest of
always
the
looking
summer.
for
Did you say
spaces.
November?
Yeah, we're probably looking at that first week of the year.
All right, well, at least there's a full consensus of this
Yes,
board.
yes. I'm
Remember
all for
Rutledge
it.
also, you okay with that? So we have 6 votes.
Fran, you
Jealously.
okay?
Yeah, that's fine with me. And I don't see really any distinction between the beer and wine versus liquor. Not that many people drink liquor anymore, so I don't really see that as a big issue or a problem.
No, it'll probably be 2 or 3 events out of the whole year.
Yeah.
So, hey, any other questions on, at least we'll get this full board and we'll start working with Trevor.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Any other new business?
I just wanted to say that, if you guys have any events coming up, I know that not everybody was in the room when I said this earlier, but thank you to Animal Services for bringing their vehicle out to Neighbor Pride Fest. And it was amazing. You guys are awesome. Always, the person in there working always had a smile on her face.
Oh, great.
They had a giant cat in there and then just a little tiny little baby cat in there. So it's always a big hit, especially with the kids who come. So thank you very much.
And you'll be bringing that to the Lake County event.
We're still waiting to find out if they have a spot for us to park it there. So the Lake County event is all indoors and they've got separate sections for dogs, cats, and then small animals. So yeah, we've put a request in to bring it. Still waiting to hear back.
Any other new business? Okay. Check the word adjourned.
Yeah.
See you next